I think the most extraordinary thing about the Pine Barrens is that it's unlike anywhere else on the earth. The community of plants and animals that live here are truly unique.
The beauty of the pines is subtlety. You can't just tear through the pines at 70 miles an hour and think that you understand the pines.
New Jersey has this image of being highly concentrated with people and development and so forth, and yet we have a huge area that is very special, very different. If you walk the pinelands at all, you realize there are all kinds of critters, and some of them are endangered.
When I'm there, I feel like I'm in another part of the country, that I'm in a national park somewhere.
I love the pines because I just think it's fascinating that so many factors can come into play here. The soil, the climate, the wind, the fire.
Underneath the Pine Barrens are 17 trillion gallons of fresh water, and they say it's enough to cover the whole state of New Jersey with 10 feet of fresh, pure water.
The Kirkwood-Coanzi Aquifer is enormous. It's miles deep, just filled with water interspersed between all the sand and gravel.
And so that water is just saturated down underneath. And where it comes to the surface, you find little wetlands, vernal pools, Pineys call them spungs.
The underground water table is expressed right at the surface in many areas or very close to the surface.
And the beautiful tea-colored Pine Barren streams that run down into the bayshore all come from that underground water source. It just filters up and creates the stream flow and creates these little wetland areas.
The very ecosystem that we're looking at here depends upon the depth to that aquifer, and any severe fluctuations could be catastrophic for a whole host of rare and endangered species of plants and animals.
For the people who live in South Jersey, of course, the important thing is the water that underlying the whole Pinelands area and is the water supply for all of South Jersey.
There are a variety of insect-eating plants in the Pine Barrens. There are sundews, which have sticky leaves that catch insects on their sticky leaves. There are bladderworts that have underwater bladders that catch tiny invertebrates that live in the streams and in the ponds. There are also pitcher plants, which have cups that are colored red and have backward-pointing spines, and flies think that the pitcher plants are carrion or decaying meat. So there are all these species that catch insects, and they do that to supplement their diets because of the poor soil.
There are 21 species of wild native orchids in the Pine Barrens, and that's a pretty high number, and a lot of them are very unique to this area. And they're small populations, they're remote, their sites are guarded and held secret by the botanists who know where they are. But it's a very special thing about this part of the state.
As soon as you enter the stream corridors, you come into these spectacular cedar swamps that are also home to many unusual and very rare plant species. Because of these straight tree trunks that soar into the sky and the light from the sun filters down through them, and it does create somewhat of the effect of a cathedral with the light shining through stained glass windows.
At last, people were recognizing how important the Pinelands was, or is, and how important its resources are to the state as a whole.
The most important thing for me as the director of the organization and now owning this property is just an immense satisfaction and happiness in knowing that this property is going to be preserved for the future, that it'll always be here. It's just a wonderful feeling.
This is the heart of the pines. It's the heart of the heart. Being able to keep that land and restore all the bogs back to the natural wetlands and get it back to the way it was in primeval times is absolutely so unique. To be able to have that opportunity, that it's worth almost anything to get it done.